Selling on eBay is a great way to supplement your existing income. And if you have the time and resources, it could actually be a way to create a full-time income as well. But I want to go over some things here with you. If you're a beginning seller on eBay, maybe you don't quite have an idea of what to do, and that's what this video is for. So stay tuned. We're going to cover that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin Ain't Easy. And as the title suggests, this video is pretty much for beginners, or maybe you just got started selling on eBay and you need some help and some tips. I don't really think this content is going to help somebody who's been selling for, a year or two or more. But you never know. Maybe some tips that I give might be beneficial to you. But certainly watch the video from beginning to end. You may have heard some of these tips before, and I'm willing to bet maybe you haven't, especially if you're new. You need all the help that you can get. Sometimes it can be scary to jump in and do something for the first time and you don't have any knowledge in how to do it. And eBay is no different. And it can be very overwhelming at first, but you got to give yourself some time to make mistakes. And hopefully this video will help you minimize those mistakes. There's also other good videos as well out there, but this one is mid-2021, and it is designed to give you, in my opinion, the most up-to-date information that you need to start selling on eBay and start off with an advantage that a lot of new eBay sellers just don't have. So with that said, before I begin, please comment down below if any of this information has been helpful to you. I'd appreciate that. It helps the channel. And while you're at it, hit that like button. Consider subscribing to my channel because we have great content, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I make another video or go live. So to get started on eBay is quite simple. You can certainly start off, and I would recommend starting off with just simply the things you already have in your home. Because you may not like doing eBay. It's not for everyone. One thing that I noticed with working with other people is that eBay, after about a week or two of doing it, isn't quite the gig that works for them. Maybe it's just not as interesting as they thought it would be. And so as a result, they just lose interest. And when you lose interest and you lose motivation, it's very hard to do anything. So by selling the things that you have in your home, you're not running out and buying stuff out of pocket. You're basically taking items, and what I'd recommend is take, clothing is a good type of item. Go through your closet, look through anything. If you're like me, you're going to come across stuff that doesn't fit anymore, or stuff maybe, I haven't worn in months, that type of thing. Some of us have even brand new clothing in our closet still with the tags. Well, if you haven't worn it by now, chances are you're not going to wear it. You might as well sell it. Electronics, that's another good place to start. We have a lot of stuff in closets, garages that we can go through and maybe we're not using. And of course, collectibles and knickknacks and things of that nature that are just sitting around, and maybe you'd rather try to sell some of these items just to see if eBay is going to work for you. I definitely do not recommend running out to a thrift store, looking for Walmart clearance, looking at yard sales just yet. Now, with that said, when you sign up with eBay, you're going to have to sign up with eBay's managed payments, and they're going to require a dedicated checking account and your social security number for tax reporting purposes. eBay is going to report on a 1099 any income that you make over $20,000 and 200 items sold. So it's something that you definitely want to consider. But most things that we do in life, when we're dealing with money, you actually have to give your social security number and in this case, a dedicated checking account. Now, what I would say to do if you're concerned about giving your personal checking account that you use for bills and everything else, I would go and have a new checking account created just for this purpose, so that you may have some of your concerns sort of tempered a little bit because eBay doesn't have your main checking account. And then on the side, you can have it set up between checking accounts to be able to transfer money back and forth. That to me is the best way to do it for new eBay sellers and for established eBay sellers as well. So eBay has a system called managed payments. So whenever you receive a payment, that money is handled by eBay. And initially, as a new seller, you're not going to get your money right away. What's going to happen is eBay is going to monitor your progress. And as a new seller, usually it's like 60 to 90 days that you're sort of in a probation period because they don't know who you are. So what's going to happen is you receive a payment, quote unquote, from your buyer. So the buyer's paid for the item. eBay's holding that in what is called a pending status, okay? And so that money's there waiting for you. You would actually have to go on and purchase the label. You can use your pending funds. If you have it set up with eBay, you can have that money taken out of your pending funds that they're holding for that label, which is what I would recommend. And you would then package up that item as nice as you can using an adequate box. Bubble wrap is great to package your item. And of course, right now you can use a regular everyday printer to print out your label and tape it to the box. You can also go to USPS.com and get some free priority mail supplies that you can use as well, which I recommend definitely doing. Like I said, most of it doesn't cost you anything, and they'll deliver it right to your door. So once you deliver the item, you actually ship it by the date that eBay wants you to ship it. And when the buyer receives the item and the tracking number shows that the item's been received, then eBay will release your funds to your available side of your managed payments account, usually the business day after that shows as delivered. And so then it's about a business day after that when they then send it to your account. Now I have Chase Bank linked up to my eBay account. And if, today they send me a message saying that my money is being transferred to my bank account, I usually get it like clockwork the following day. Now that doesn't always happen, but it does take some time to get this money. And like I said, you're going to be in a probationary period. So you might not see that money for a week and a half after you've shipped the item. And you just kind of have to accept that initially. Now, I have never seen any issues with the eBay payments. For me, I've sold thousands of items on eBay, and they've always delivered on the funds. And for, I believe, 60 to 90 days, or there might be a specific number of transactions with managed payments. I don't quite know the number, what that is, but eBay is putting you in a probationary period when you first start. And you just have to continually ship these items and just know that the money's not going to hit your account right away. And that's another reason why it's a good idea not to go out and buy these things, because you're not going to be able to recoup that money right away. So by using items you already own to first start and establish your account for the first few months, you are then building an account from zero. You're showing eBay that you are a reliable seller. And in the meantime, you're not putting out money that you can't immediately recoup. You can then take those funds once you finally get paid and let that money accumulate. Don't put it towards bills if you're trying to build a little side eBay business. That money, because all that stuff was in your closet or your garage that you weren't using, allow that to just sit there like those items were sitting there in your closet or your garage. And it's tempting, but you have to have some discipline. Allow that money to sit in that checking account. And then after a month or two, after you've sold some items, after you've established an eBay selling account, after they've maybe given you more than 100 items, usually they'll give you 100 items to initially list, then you can ask for more items, a seller increase, and also by a certain point, eBay is going to see that you are a trustworthy seller, and you're going to start getting your money a lot faster, even before the buyer receives their item. Now, as a new seller, you might be, just overwhelmed about how to do it. Now, there's a lot of good videos out there, and I'm not going to jump into too much depth, but there are some things that you need to consider when you're selling on eBay for the first time. Learn the eBay app and learn the eBay website and learn how to use the search feature. It's just like a Google search. You go in and you type what the item is. If you have the barcode, you can use the barcode to get that item that you're looking for. But if you don't have a barcode, you can type in the title of the item or what you think the title of the item would be. Like if you have a Nike sweater, you could put a Nike sweater. If you have the item number or the model number off the tag, you could put that on there as well. And then once you find that, when you pull it up in search, you go to the left column on the left-hand side, and you want to select sold. Now, if you're using the app, you're going to click on filter, and you're going to do the drop down and find sold, items sold. So you want to click on that filter, and it'll give you all the items under that search that have sold, and the prices will be in green. That's how you'll know. Now, for me, when I'm doing my product research or if I'm about to list a new item, I'll do that. And if I find an item that matches what I'm looking for or what I'm currently trying to sell, I will then click on that item, and there should be a button somewhere in the listing that says sell one like this, okay? And the reason I do that is because for me, they've sold their item, so they were successful, and I want to be successful in making a sale as well. So by clicking that, it populates that listing with the information that that seller used for that listing. So chances are they have a pretty good title. Chances are they have a pretty complete form that's already filled out. So all you have to do is kind of go through it and just verify the information and upload your photos, and you're going to be off to the races. So the number one thing I would say to do once you're in the screen to go ahead and put all your information in when you're building your listing is your title, okay? And your title, you want to think of it in terms of what is my buyer going to type in the search to find this item, okay? And so that has to, if you're dealing with a brand name, you want to make sure your brand name's at the beginning of that title. And so then the other words you want to use in your title are the what. What is it? So it could be a Nike sweater. You want to key on the first 5 words of that title. So usually it's brand name, what the item is, and then any describing features of that item would be after that. So Nike, sweater, blue, pullover, dry fit, model number, that type of thing, okay? And try to utilize as much of that title as you can. So try to put as much describing words or features of that item in that title. Just make sure that the key components of what you are actually hoping your buyer searches for is in the first 5 words of that title. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Your photos are extremely important. I've seen a lot of newer sellers that maybe just throw their items on their bed, take photos, bad lighting, and list it, and wonder why their items aren't selling. Well, eBay wants you to put items up that have very clear and crisp photos. You want to take good photos with good lighting, okay? And that means that you might want to use natural light if you can. If you could take photos near an open window during the day where you have good lighting. Natural lighting is best because as a new seller, you don't have to go out and buy, fancy lighting kits or fancy backdrops or anything like that. Now, what I would say to do, whether you're doing it on your kitchen table and you're using just your standard lighting at home, or you found a place to use natural light, eBay, they do want white backgrounds, okay? And you can either use remove.bg, that's a website I use, and you use the preview of the photo for your eBay pictures. It doesn't cost you anything. You can either do that to remove your white backgrounds, or I use Photo Room, and that's an app that's on Android and on iPhone. And you can use that to quickly remove your background, because you want to take pictures where there's not a lot of stuff or other stuff in the way. And eBay wants to see that clear photo of just the item and nothing else really in the background. So that's what I would recommend. That's the second really most important component to your listing. And that's, in my opinion, is just as important as the title, because there's a lot of people that are very visual, and they'll see exactly what they're looking for, and they're going to maybe gravitate to that listing that has that nice photo. The third thing when you're compiling that listing would be your price. Now, remember I told you, you want to look for the item that you're selling, and you want to make sure you're selling in the proper condition. So when you find that listing to piggyback off of, if you have a used item, you certainly don't want to represent your item as new. So you want to find an item that's already sold that is labeled as pre-owned, okay? And so once you do that, and you are down to the area where you're actually establishing your price, eBay will have a little hyperlink down there on the on both the app and on the website that will allow you to kind of review what others have sold that item for in the past under that condition. And so what you want to do is you want to sort of recall what you saw when you were scrolling down through the ones that have sold, and also look at it's the Terapeak information is what it's called when you're down in your listing, to see what that item is sold for. And I would recommend, as a new seller, because you don't have a lot of buyer trust, is to try to lower your price below what the item has recently been selling for, which will give you a better chance to sell that item than someone else. You can either do free shipping, or you can charge for shipping. You can create a policy that maybe allows you to set a set price. So if you're selling something under £1, you can set something for about $5 or $6 shipping, maybe flat rate, and that would be a fair amount to set for a shipping. Now, a lot of people will utilize free shipping, and I would only do that if the prices that you are researching, the other items that you've seen sold in the past, if they've offered free shipping as well. One big mistake that a lot of sellers make is they don't take that cost into consideration. They'll sell an item for $15 when it costs like $14 or $15 to actually ship it, and they lost money. As a rule of thumb, as a new seller on eBay, until you kind of get an idea of how much things cost to ship through eBay, and that only comes really with experience, that you set your shipping as a flat rate. Basically anything under £1, I would do like $5.99. Anything £1 to 2 pounds, maybe £1 to 3 pounds, maybe set for $9.99. Anything between 3 and 10 pounds, set up as $19.99, and anything over 10 pounds or a larger item, make it just a flat $29.99. That's what I do. It works great. Sometimes I make some on the shipping, sometimes I lose some on the shipping, but overall it sort of washes out, and it works. So also look at those comps. Look at the items that have sold in the past. See what your competition, the other eBay sellers, have sold that item with. Did they use free shipping, or did they charge shipping? Get an idea of what most people are doing and follow that. Emulate what these other sellers are doing, and you're going to be just fine. So ultimately, it's about being consistent as well. So the more consistent you are in listing items, the better. It is much better for you to list 1 or 2 items a day than to list 10 items on the weekend and just wait until the following weekend to list another 10 items. What you can do, if all you have is just that day on the weekend to list items, what I would say is going to be better for you is to create what is called a draft. So when you are making that listing on eBay, at the very bottom, it'll ask you if you want to save it as a draft. I would say yes, okay? And the reason is because you can then go back to your drafts and launch 1 or 2 of those each day throughout the week. And then you're going to show eBay consistency, and that's going to help you in the eBay algorithm. And eBay is going to reward you with more consistent sales than if you just listed once a week, like 10 to 15 items a week. And no matter on what scale that you're on, whether you're able to list 10 items a day or whether you're only able to list 1 or 2 a day, eBay rewards consistency. That's the number one tip that I can give anyone, especially a new seller. Now, one last thing I want to tell you guys. I'm a full-time eBay reseller because I kind of had to be. I had a full-time career, making pretty good money. I worked at this place for 26 years and found out with a 6-month notice that they were closing down our office. And at the time, I was working full-time, 40 hours a week, and I was spending about 2 to 4 hours a day just selling on eBay and, selling a little bit here, selling a little bit there. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would actually be doing eBay full-time and relying on that for my income. But no matter how much fun you might be having with eBay, no matter how much success you may initially have with eBay, be very careful when making it your full-time career, okay? It's one thing to utilize eBay as a supplemental source of income. It's entirely a different ballgame when you're relying on it to be your full-time source of income. So for me, I would recommend that you have at least, I'd say 500 to 1,000 quality items in your eBay store. And by the time you have 500 items, you do want to look into getting an eBay store. Not something you need when you first start out. But if you're looking at the possibility of, hey, I can do this full time, don't jump on that bandwagon so fast, because you will find that if you don't have a nest egg of $20,000+ in the bank to pay for your bills, because when you first start out full time, you are going to make mistakes like I did in sourcing. You're going to make all kinds of mistakes. That's going to cost you money, and you're not going to make as much as you think you're going to make until you learn the ins and outs of doing this full time, learning what works for you versus what doesn't work. And for that reason, I would learn these things while you're still working at your full-time job, okay? And of course, comment down below if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer it. If I don't answer it, other great eBayers that watch this channel will be glad to help as well. But there's a reason why I named this channel Flippin' Ain't Easy. It's not hard. Once you get the hang of it, it's a piece of cake. But it's the ins and outs and the things that we have to deal with every day as resellers that make it so that it's not easy. And so just remember, whether you're a new seller or a seller that's been doing this as long as I have, flipping ain't easy. And we will see you guys here very soon. Please subscribe to the channel so you can be notified and you can grow along with the rest of us. Have a good rest of your day or evening, and we'll talk to you again very soon.